Where there's a need, there's always a market. And if we think about recent big global events and big things that's happened with that statement in mind, think of things like Airbnb and what Airbnb did to the hotel industry, what Uber did to the taxi industry, and how that basically revolutionized the way we think about accommodation and transport. And now, in terms of fabric world and what happens in fabric world, I think in 2017 we saw a similar event, and that event was the launch of a product called FibreGuard. FibreGuard, as we all know, is an inherently stain-free fabric, something that the market has been demanding for time immemorial. Like, that's the first thing anybody ever thinks about. I can honestly tell you that in the space of nearly 2 years, it really has revolutionized everything we think in terms of an upholstery fabric. And now, recently, like a few months ago, that goalpost in terms of specification has been moved even further with the launch of a product called FibreGuard Pro. If you're anything like me, I want to see the proof in the pudding. You're saying stain-free. What even is stain-free? How do you quantify that? Well, how does it work? So I decided that I'm going to show you exactly how that works with a little piece of fabric from one of the collections that we have, and just show you just a quick touch base on how it works. I decided that I'm going to work on a piece of Baron, which is one of my favorite fabrics from FibreGuard, and also happens to be a chenille, which we all dread anything happening to. You know, you see a chenille on a sofa or a chair or whatever, and you start getting anxious, thinking what's going to happen if something spills on it, or something happens to it, you know, right on it, or whatever it might be. So common household stains that I think about when we talk about FibreGuard is stuff like tomato sauce, stuff like mud from the dogs, chocolate with the kids, coffee stains, tea stains, red wine stains, lipstick stains, ballpoint pen stains, all those sort of things come out, and it's such a simple little process. So the main thing that helps with the cleaning of the stain is obviously water, and that's the primary function of it. So I think a stain that I love doing because it's very effective is tomato sauce, and I'm just gonna quickly mess. You had that hot dog, there we go, stain all over the show. It's a hot mess express, and we're all super anxious about this stain that just happened. So the back of a blunt knife, I'm just going to basically lift, actually let's just make sure that stain's in there properly, you know. So I'm just going to lift it, all the excess, and this could be, you know, this could be mayonnaise, it could be tomato sauce, it could be any solid sort of stain, and this is how you would treat it. It's very important that you use the back of a blunt knife, because the last thing you want is mechanical damage to the fabric, and that's quite important to remember. You know, not everything's bulletproof as much as we try and think of that. So if you're going to use a serrated side of a knife, it's going to be a mess, so rather not. So remember the back of a blunt knife. So we're just getting all that excess out and off. There we go. All right, and as you can see, that's the bulk of the excess that's come off. With a white serviette or some white paper towel, I'm basically going to use a simple dabbing technique just to dab all that dirt out right there. So the whole point of this is to lift whatever's remaining in between the fibers out. As you can see, we've got that lifting onto the white serviette. Bearing in mind, reminding ourselves that this is a chenille. So it's a product that historically you start getting anxious about when it gets spilled on. So all the specifications that we would normally look for in terms of FibreGuard, in terms of upholstery fabric rather, so martindale abrasions, fire retardancy tests, washability, all those things become secondary when we're talking FibreGuard, because the FibreGuard spec is the primary spec, and all those things come standard. The primary focus of this product is to be stain-free, directed and geared towards the contract market, but also towards the everyday domestic market. Because why? We want simple lives where we don't have to think about things too much or feel like we're fussed. Anyway, so back to our stain. Then with a little bit of water, I'm going to spray, that's just plain water, on there. Here we go. Let's get it nice and wet. And then I'm going to take that paper towel again, and I'm just going to dab even more. I'm just going to lift all of that out. Some more. The cool thing is with all these FibreGuard stains, that you can go onto the FibreGuard website and there's actual tutorials of showing you how these things work. So the funny thing is all of them are kind of similar, because the main things when we're talking stains and removing stains or FibreGuard fabric is that it's a simple water involving a little bit of white household soap. So I'm just going to put a little bit of soap because there's a little bit of oil in tomato sauce, and I'm going to get it wet again. So the key thing with the soap is that less is more. If you're going to put too much soap on, you're going to spend the rest of your time removing the soap. So rather reapply soap if you need to, as opposed to smothering it in soap. So this is a plain little microfiber cloth that I'm using. I'm just doing a simple circular motion. So as I said, martindale abrasions and all those things become secondary. So Baron carries a 60,000 martindale rub. So I can rub this, nothing's going to happen. So it's quite important that you're aware of that. So I'm just doing my simple little circular movement. Let's say this tomato sauce has been there for 2 days because the kids were on the sofa and they didn't want mom and dad to see that they've spilled on the sofa, and they flipped the seats around, because that happens. And this is dried now, and then it's a dry tomato sauce stain or whatever it might be. The process is exactly the same. Here, with that process, you just use a whole lot more water. So water, 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 and the more water, the better. As we can see, the stain is virtually gone. I'm just having to dry the fabric now. And voila, tomato sauce no more. Simple little water and white soap process. So if that's not revolutionary, I really don't know what is. If you have any questions about FibreGuard or any of these amazing performance fabrics, please tweet us at HomeFabricsSA, #HFTrends, where we will gladly answer those questions. If you found this content valuable and you think somebody else might find it valuable, please like and share. Also hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the link to HF Inner Circle, where we share valuable content regularly. So join that. That being said, bye for now.